Mutual Benefit Corporation. It's Tuesday, May 7th, 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom, and we do have a quorum, and it looks like we have one member on Zoom at this time. So I want to remind everybody to please silence their phones. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We are on Zoom and Granicus for our media. And I would call now for the approval of the agenda. Has everybody read the agenda? Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, are there no objections? We will approve it without objection. And the same with our minutes. We have two sets of minutes, our regular board meeting from last time and our agenda prep meeting. Do we have any additions, corrections to either of those sets of minutes? With no objections, we will approve both of those and set them for file. Report of the chair. Jim hopes to join us by Zoom a little bit later today. We all keep him in our thoughts and prayers because he has some real big problems right now. So we're hoping that all goes well. All right. Otherwise, I have no chair's remarks prepared this morning, so we're going to zip right through here and go to the CEO report. Good morning.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice President, members of the board. This morning, I'd like to touch on some hot topics here in the village. The first thing I want to mention is that residents are now eligible for full-time employment with Village Management Services. The members of VMS, Third United, and GRF voted to expand resident employment opportunities to include full-time employment. This policy is made to help give VMS more tools as we still face challenges in this post-pandemic job market. So as of May 1st, which was last week, residents may apply for all full-time positions open within VMS. As with employment at any organization, there are personnel policies in place, some of which apply to former board members. To view the open positions, please visit lagunawoodsvillage.com, scroll to the site's footer, and click Careers. The next thing I'd like to mention is that Southern California Edison is engaged in emergency repairs near Gate 5. They are replacing a failing underground vault and transformer at the north end of Avenida Sevilla, north of Gate 5. There are temporary road closures in place through May 17th. Avenida Sevilla will be closed to through traffic at Via Porta during working hours, and one lane will be open to one-way traffic only overnight and on weekends until the work is completed. I also would like to touch base on the Federal Communication Commission's proposal that would adversely impact the village. The recent FCC proposal would ban bulk billing arrangements in apartments, condominiums, housing cooperatives, and so forth. As background, the village is a member of the National Content and Technology Cooperative, otherwise known as NCTC, which partners with the community to provide network programming, KNBC, KABC, CNN, Fox, etc., at bulk pricing. If this proposal were to move forward and ban bulk billing, this would nearly triple the cost of programming to the village, which is budgeted at $4.5 million in 2024. So we'd like to ask our residents to help. Residents can help by contacting their legislative representatives to express support for bulk billing arrangements and concern for the adverse impact the proposal would have on the village. especially fixed-income seniors. There are 5 draft letters available on our village website under the News tab that residents can use to date and sign and send off to their representatives. If not, there are other ways to contact your representatives, and I've listed all the contact information here on the screen. We have our U.S. Congresswoman, our U.S. Senator, the Federal Communications Commissioners, the House Subcommittee on Communications and Technology, as well as the Senate Subcommittee on Communications, Media, and Broadband. But again, all this is on the village website under the News tab if you're interested in helping us get the word out to our legislators that this is not a favorable approach for our village. We're also excited to announce that the digitized docent tour developed by Media and Communications and Village Television is now on the village website. This is on the home page. All you need to do is click the Community Tour Experience link, and this will take you to the comprehensive tour experience, which is a 20-minute video that takes viewers to all destinations that are on the previous physical tours throughout the village. And so we encourage you to take a look at this video that is now available to all of our prospective residents on the website. Since mosquito season is upon us, the Orange County Vector Control District, who provides mosquito abatement services here in the village, encourages us to remind residents that they can visit the Orange County Vector Control District website, which is ocvector.org, for information and resources regarding mosquito control. And if there is a problem that you're aware of, you can submit a service request using a web form on the OC Vector website, and that's shown on the screen before you. They are very responsive, usually can come out and treat within 24 to 48 hours if you've identified a problem. They also pass along the following tips. Eliminate breeding sources around your home by dumping water from potted plant saucers as often as possible. Dump and drain other containers filled with water once a week. Clean and scrub bird baths and pet water bowls weekly. And to prevent bites, apply mosquito repellent to exposed skin before going outdoors. And then wear long sleeve shirts, long pants, and lighter colored clothing. This morning, I would also like to recognize the recent winners of the Employee Excellence Awards. These awards are presented in the fall and spring, and these highlight outstanding employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond their regular job duties. These are professionals who serve our residents, exceed service expectations, and make positive impact on village living for our residents. The recently recognized employees include Paul Wynn, who is sitting next to me from the CEO's office. He's our Assistant Corporate Secretary.
Good. Paul?
In financial services, Scott Kim. He's a stock clerk in our warehouse operation and has worked very diligently to bring that to be more efficient. In general services, we recognized Neva Farmbrow, bus driver, Preston Higgins, production coordinator from Village Television, and Guadalupe Hinojosa from Broadband, who is a technician working out in the field. In human resources, Dan Yost, risk manager, was recognized. Landscaping services recognized Omar Cardiel, foreman, and Francisco Uribe, equipment operator in our mulch operation. Maintenance and construction recognized Gavin Fogg, manor alteration supervisor, Jolene Quinn, operations specialist in damage restoration. Recreation and special events recognized Martin Ford, he's a golf shop coordinator, and Ron Spencer, senior recreation leader. Resident services recognized the concierge, Rebecca, who sits right outside the boardroom. And security services recognized Bliselda Wright, compliance supervisor, and Bridget Portuguese, a security patrol officer. So I ask you to please join me in thanking these employees for their outstanding service to our community. And that concludes my update this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would just like to add to that while the video tour is great for prospective residents, it's also wonderful for existing residents. It's amazing how many people live here and have no real idea of all that is offered within our wonderful village. And this particular video shows a little snippet of everything, very similar to the Club Expo that we had last week that brought in so many people that I had no idea we had this. I had no idea we had this. So if you haven't seen it, take a peek at that video. Okay, we will now go to agenda item 8, the open forum. We have 3 minutes per speaker, and if you are online, you already have the Zoom address. I don't need to repeat all of that, but we do have a number, 669-900-6833, if you want to call in a comment, or you can go to meeting@vmsinc.org and have your message read if you are not here in person. Excuse me. Michaela, do we have some people who want to speak this morning?
Yes, we have one in person, one on Zoom. It looks like Richard Rader will speak on Zoom. I'll call him after the in-person one. And then we have a few that emailed in that I'll go ahead and read
Okay.
after. So we'll start with Chris Collins.
Welcome, Chris.
Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here today with an update on the work of the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. This is an uncomfortable topic, funeral arrangements. The day that Mary's husband died, she was overwhelmed by the emotion and memories. She had to call her children and her closest friends. She started to think of what her life would become. This overwhelming swirl of thoughts and emotions was not a time for heavy financial decisions. Yet all of a sudden, she had to make funeral arrangements, and the funeral home wanted to be paid in full before services could be provided. A sudden death without prearranged funeral plans can be emotionally and financially devastating. Yet for many, including Mary, talking about death had been taboo. The next broadcast of the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village televised series, which is entitled Planning for the Inevitable, removes the taboo and discusses the advantages of pre-planning for one's funeral. For example, pre-planning can reduce stress, lock in costs, arrange payment plans, avoid conflicts, and ensure personal wishes are followed. So what are the key decisions involved in making final arrangements? What are some of the costs involved? What if you have no surviving close family that can help? When making such plans, what are the precautions that we should all be aware of? These questions and issues will be the focus of the Foundation's next broadcast, which will be aired on Village Television on Saturdays at 12 noon, and it will continue every Saturday for the whole month of May. Tune in and hear Renee Tepper, a pre-planning advisor for several local funerals and cemeteries who are affiliated with Dignity Memorial, which is a national company. If you want to view this broadcast on your own schedule, it's also available on the Foundation website, which is foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org, and it's under a special tab, which is called Planning for the Inevitable. This website section includes YouTube links for this broadcast and all of our earlier ones. If you have any questions about this topic or the upcoming broadcast, please contact the Foundation at the Foundation of Laguna Woods, the Foundation at comline.com. And for more information about the Foundation, please go to our website, which is the foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org. Please note that donations can always be made using pen pal or a credit card on the Foundation website. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate your coming every time and keeping us up to date on the Foundation. Anybody else here, or do we go to Zoom?
Yes, we'll go to Zoom, and it's Richard Rader. I'll call him up right now.
Good morning, everyone. I want to follow up on the comments that Siobhan made about broadband billing in peril. This has appeared in several articles in the Globe. The FCC commissioner is proposing that they prevent or disallow bulk billing arrangements for broadband. This is how we get a discount for our streaming services for our TV content now. I'm going to quote what a paragraph here that was in the Globe. Banning bulk billing would nearly triple the cost of programming to the village, which is now budgeted to be more than $4.5 billion for this year alone. So what that means in dollar terms, it looks like if this thing goes through, we're going to have to pay an additional $9 million more. If that doesn't excite people, I don't know what will. And so what I'm suggesting, oh, by the way, if this bill goes through, I believe it will apply not only to our current way of getting bulk billing, but apply to any future arrangements we may make with other opportunities for TV content. And I'm addressing that comment directly to the committee that's considering how we're going to provide TV services in the future. So the bottom line is this. I don't think it's enough that we just have something on our website that we ask people to look at and perhaps send a letter. I am going to encourage the boards to directly get involved, to get in touch with concerned citizens, Democratic, Republican clubs, and other clubs, and get the community very much aware of what is happening. $9 million. Can you imagine we get upset over less than $7 million, way less than $7 million for Building E? But this one we may let go by not organizing. So again, please organize, please make people aware, even to the point of passing petitions or postcards around that people can mail out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. You have a couple letters for us?
Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. The first one is from J.R. Davis, who is the PC Club president, and they said, "Good morning. I have just reviewed the latest proposed Building E space study option, which includes relocation of the PC Club to the community center first floor. Some erroneous information has been removed from the April 10th version. However, the conclusions and recommendations have not changed. The plan would move the PC and Mac clubs from 3 rooms on the 3rd floor to 1 room on the 1st floor. 2 small rooms are also attached to the 1 larger room, but they would be of little use, if any, for the services and education provided by the current space. This plan is totally unsatisfactory for the PC Club to provide anything close to our current level of service. The 1 room could serve as a workshop, which could possibly be shared with the Mac Club, or as a shared classroom, but not both. It would also end the free tax program. The plan shows a complete lack of understanding about what we do, how our facilities are used, the extent of use by residents, and the complications involved with the move. And yet the plan purports to expand resident computer facilities and locations and enhance residents' recreation activity experience. This is simply not true. What this plan will do is eliminate most of the services provided by the PC Club, and likely the PC Club itself. We currently have 516 members and an email distribution of 2,675 who use our services frequently. Conceivably, a technology club could be formed from remnants of the PC Club and Mac Club if qualified volunteers remain to develop the bylaws and procedures required. I would not be one of them." Next one is from Anson Dong, and they said, "Dear GRF Board, I am the current president of Laguna Woods Village Archery Club and have been on the LWAC board since 2017 when the club received the mandatory conditional use permit, CUP, from the city of Laguna Woods to run an indoor archery range. The permit restricts the range to Building B and does not have an end date unless Building B is remodeled. In the May 1st meeting at Clubhouse 5, the E-Building Ad Hoc Committee presented 3 proposals that lacked adequate research as their data seemed distorted or misinterpreted, and they were absent of input from the clubs and entities that would be affected by the proposals. Proposal number 1 unnecessarily displaces many clubs and entities to other locations without first deciding if the replacement locations are suitable to their specific needs. For example, and speaking only for the archery club, the city of Laguna Woods prohibits any outdoor archery activity within city limits, so the suggestion of forcing the club outdoors is impossible. The committee proponents of proposal number 1 were not aware of the CUP restriction, yet they claim to have made a thorough research and evaluation of collected data before drafting proposal number 1. The conditional use permit is location specific and does not expire unless Building B is remodeled. If that happens, a new CUP is needed. However, only changing the windows of the building is not a remodel. The ongoing clubhouse number 1 renovation does not change the archery range building except to replace old windows with the new windows. So the CUP stays in effect without an end date. The archery activities are still safely contained within the building as required by the city. Proposal number 1 forces the shuffleboard club out of their indoor location to an external site with the rationale that earlier shuffleboard courts were outdoors, but what about the SoCal weather of strong summer heat and winter chills? Should indoor volleyball, badminton, basketball, and ballroom dancing clubs be forced to be outdoors too? At the May 1st meeting, committee member Mr. Hopkins asked for an unofficial show of hands among the audience of which proposals they were more in favor of, and proposal number 1 did not receive a single hand, while Hopkins' proposal number 2 received all hands. That is because it is the most cost-effective and does not interrupt, displace, and or hurt any clubs. And as seen at the meeting, proponents of proposal number 1 continue to ignore the outspoken concern of the club members, residents, and the unanimous audience rejection. I hope the GRF board seriously evaluates and conducts a feasibility study of each proposal as to the financial and human cost of implementation. How will the proposal affect the residents and their enjoyment of the village? What are the benefits of disrupting an entire system when it is not necessary? I believe a majority or most of the village residents chose the lifestyle offered here over the real estate investment. After all, any home outside of the village appreciates faster and higher than homes inside the village, but they do not have the amenities we enjoy in the village. Most clubs have to generate revenues to exist. Next one is from John Rittenauer. They said, I'm a board member of Laguna Woods Village Shuffleboard Association, and I've been able to attend all the ad hoc committee meetings, and I felt that the only proposal that was in the best interest of the residents was presented by the chairman, James Hopkins. Our club is the second oldest club in the village, and now it's feeling threatened because there is consideration of using our clubhouse for another purpose. We are so fortunate to have a state-of-the-art clubhouse and courts, and to eliminate this and move the club to an outside location would certainly not be in the best interest of the residents, recreationally, economically, or socially. Mr. Cortez planned our village for the purpose of providing mature individuals with an active lifestyle. To remove one of the village's oldest clubs for the repurposing of administration staff would not be in the best interest of the residents, and the GRF board's first consideration should be the best interest of the residents. And then there's just 2 or 3 more emails. The next one's from D. Tucker. Hello, I have attended all 3 committee meetings regarding relocation of VMS personnel and clubs. It is very distressing to hear false statements about the work of the PC Club. We served 981 residents in the workshop in the month of April using a computer, a printer, a scanner. We prepared 1,220 residents' taxes this year for free. They had to come into the workshop 2 times, one to bring taxes and one to pick up taxes. We served 170 residents in classes, one that VMS requested to teach residents how to use Dwelling Live in the portal. We do not require a resident to be a member of the club. All residents are welcome. All volunteers staff the workshop, the tax program, and the classes. Please consider the valuable service to your residents and the club, the PC Club provides. And second to last is from Linda Vanderlind, and they stated, this statement is regarding the Building E replacement proposal to move Laguna Woods Village Archery Club to 2 possible places, Clubhouse 4 outdoor open area from Clubhouse 1 Building B. In order for Laguna Woods Archery to open the archery range, we applied a conditional use permit from the City of Laguna Woods in 2016. The club paid $4,000 deposit to the city and worked with the city for a few months, which involved with environmental study, public safety assessment, sheriff department inspection, and city's attorney's legal review. This conditional use permit is only designated to Clubhouse 1 Building B, the specific range location. If we were moved to Clubhouse 4, another new CUP would have to apply for that specific location. Building Committee member Nancy Carlson and Andy Ginocchio also suggested GRF has indicated that our conditional use permit is expired upon Clubhouse 1's renovation. We don't agree. For one, the permit was issued by the city, not GRF. Therefore, only the city has that decision right. 2, there is absolutely no construction alteration during this renovation for archery range except the new windows are installed. If the public safety is not compromised in any way, upon city's inspection by this new window installation, the permit should still be valid. Based on the zoning code and municipality code of the city, outdoor archery range is extremely prohibited in the city boundary. We believe before the E-Building Committee conducts a cost analysis towards this proposal, a feasibility study should be done first. On May 1st, Building E Committee meeting, committee member Nancy Carlson emphasized twice that Bridge Club brings in lots of money and Pickleball Club donates lots of money. We believe every club should have the same equal right to exist in the village, regardless if it is new or old, small or big, has money or doesn't have money. To purposely place one bigger or richer club on top of the preference to other clubs is just simply unfair and wrong. And the last email is from Jerry Ludlam. And Jerry stated, please do not accept the proposal by Andy Ginocchio, Nancy Carlson for the relocation of the clubs and community centers to buildings B and C. On April 24th, Andy conducted a tour of buildings B and C for Ambrose Hung, Mabel Tam, and myself. I hope that all committee members tour those two buildings before forwarding their plan. Those buildings are in reality much different than described in their relocation proposal. First, their plan says building B and C have improved ventilation. The current table tennis facility is kept cool with air conditioning, while the archery building has no ventilation. The shuffleboard building has several ceiling fans. A past shuffleboard president says that it gets quite hot in the building from July to September. The relocation plan does not mention the addition of air conditioning to buildings B and C, since that would add a lot to the cost. If air conditioning were added, it would be two separate systems cooling 9,000 square feet. Current table tennis room is 6,400 square feet, so the monthly cooling cost would be much higher. Can a plan be approved that expects seniors to do aerobic playing in hot and humid rooms? Would that be compliant with the Americans with Disability Act? There are many other problems with that relocation proposal, so please do not attempt to put a price on it as it is written. And that is all for open forum right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, number 9 on our agenda is responses to the open forum speaking. Do we have any responses from our board members? Yes, Yvonne.
While I appreciate the people that took the time to write in letters about Building E, it's my recommendation that they go to their HOA mutual board meetings and voice their opinions there. Whatever happens, it's the mutuals that help make the decisions. So they need to go to their mutual meetings and to their town halls and let them know, your board members, your elected board members, how you feel. Thank you.
Anybody else? Responses? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go on to item number 10.
Just one
Oh,
thing.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to say, I think that the oppositions that have been presented highlight, flaws in the analytical process that the Building E committee or its members have gone through. Because, I mean, if these assertions are correct and they're not, and they don't align with the facts that the what's a special committee is following, we should certainly encourage them to relook at their facts, because these are some serious statements, and it would be unfortunate to have this come forward with a flawed analysis.
Thank you. And you're correct, and so to add on to Yvonne, a lot of our members don't realize the process. We have a subcommittee. The subcommittee will bring it to our committee probably next month for a vote. GRF can approve or disapprove it, but if we approve it, it has to go to the corporate members, and those are the board members of each of the mutual boards. And that's why she's encouraging supporters to go to your mutual boards and let them know how you feel. So when they vote at the corporate members meeting, they are voting for what their members really like. So it's an involved process. That's why it's taken so long. We've been to the corporate members twice and it's been voted down. So it's not a new process, but when it gets to them again, we hope whatever is decided will go through the corporate members. Okay, we will,
Madam Chair?
yes, Kush?
Yes, thank you. At this moment, I'd like to take the time to say thank you to Chris Collins. I appreciate you stopping by every month and giving us an update on all the different functions that your your committee and the foundation keeps doing, and truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Martin, did you have a response you wanted to make?
If I could, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm on the wrong slide. That's really good.
No, you're fine, right there.
That's Jim's seat. I don't know where my name is.
He's not over here.
Thank you. About the space planning, I don't agree with President Hopkins' statement that VMS is not involved. I believe that, I know that they were the ones that got the Austin group for us to give an estimate. But I mean, through the Paperwork Reduction Act, through automation, technology, consolidation, I believe that the corporate footprint of America has really shrunk, and that we need to do all we can to, we know that, I believe that there's quite a bit of space up there on 2 and down here in 1 regarding office space, a lot of square footage per employee. I just think that that needs to be considered to be relayed out, and that could relate to how many dollars we have to spend in order for the committee to, or in order for everything to come together to save money. We've all heard of AI and what is happening, and I know that it's incredible. I mean, all the major universities across the country have modified their MBA programs to incorporate AI as being your genius intern. That we have to take a look at that. We need to be able to consider shrinking our corporate footprint as well. Thank you.
Okay, again, that's not on the agenda for today, but reply to the comments that we've made is well worthwhile. Any other comments from the board? All right, seeing none, we will go to the consent calendar. Now, the consent calendar is matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by committees and will be acted by the board in one motion. So when a suggestion, a resolution comes through from a committee, it normally goes on the consent calendar. It can be pulled from the consent calendar for discussion, but for the most part, we just have one vote for all on the consent calendar. And today we have one item on the consent calendar, as we always do, the recommendation from the Finance Committee. And so may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
Second, all right, Joan and Martin. Are there any objections to the consent calendar? Seeing none, it's passed without objection. All right, unfinished business. Number 11. Our first item is an oral discussion of the Clubhouse 1 renovation. And are you going to start that off, Siobhan, or do we go right to Guy?
Go right to Guy, please.
Come
Thank
on
you.
up.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. I do have a brief update for the Clubhouse 1. As of last week's meeting, which was on Tuesday of last week, we were reported by the contractor to be on schedule. So we're not anticipating any delays at this time. The windows are still being installed. We're about, I'd say 80%, last I looked at it, through the windows. The paint on the exterior is about 95% completed. There are some pickup items in a few areas that are outstanding. We have the restrooms are now under construction, so they're being reconstructed. They went through a demo process, and now we're putting those back together. The electrical, if you recall, the part of the scope of work is to take the electrical that was surface mounted and put it inside the walls. That work has begun, and it's in progress. And today we have a meeting to go over the fireplace. There's a bit of a redesign that's going on with the fireplace, so we're going to confirm some of the items, and they'll start moving forward on that. And that's really all I have for you at this time. I'm open to questions.
I'd like, first of all, to introduce you because some of our people, particularly on television, may not know you as we do. This is Guy West, and he's our project manager for maintenance and construction. So he's in charge of this project. Do we have any questions from the board for Guy? Yvonne?
The sound system in the main ballroom.
Yeah,
Where-
so the sound system is, that was not included in the scope of work. It's a separate scope of work, and that is being worked on. We have another project manager assigned to that work, and they're making some progress. We're packaging. There's 3 different sound systems that we're packaging right now to try to get bids, competitive bids. We figure the economy of scale, including them all, would give us a better price.
And the 3 places?
So we have Clubhouse 7, Clubhouse 1, obviously, and Clubhouse 3. Those are the ones we're packaging.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Egon?
How are you on time, on the timeline?
So, yeah, that's what I was reporting in the beginning. According to the contractor, he is on schedule to meet his date in August. And we also have plans to do some seal coat and restriping in the parking lot. So we're going to try to coordinate that with the contractor so that we can get it all done and open it at the same time.
Martin?
The Ham Radio Club has got an office right there, and they've got an external antenna for their operations there. Is that going to be able to be sustained, operable during the It's probably not available right now with the closure. Is that correct?
That's correct. So that room is not available because we've closed the site so that the contractor has full access. As far as the antenna, there's nothing that is it's not going to be removed or anything like that. They are painting all the upper areas. They're painting off a boom lift, so they're not getting on the structure itself.
Okay, Dick, you had a question? Mr. Rader, are you there?
Yeah, the unmute sign just came up. Thank you. Am I correct that Clubhouse 5 sound system is scheduled at some point to be upgraded? And if so, would you not want to include that in the package of speaker systems that you mentioned so you might get a lower price?
So right now, we're not working on Clubhouse 5. I will look. That may be something that we can ask Recreation. The 3 that I mentioned are the 3 that were assigned to the projects division.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Guy.
Thank
Doing
you.
a great job.
Thank you.
All right, our next item under unfinished business is to entertain a motion to approve the Community Fitness Center television schedule. Jen, will you read the? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi. Sorry, real quick, just wanted to let everyone know we have been monitoring the usage of the Clubhouse Fitness Center, or the Community Fitness Center, and we are going to be cutting back an hour in the evenings. We'll be closing at 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. That's basically just because we don't have many users at all after 8 p.m. So we're going to cut back a little bit there. We're going to continue to monitor attendance. If people come to us and there's a need, we will extend it, but we just don't see that need right now. Also, Pool 6 will reopen with extended hours on Memorial Day weekend, which is May 24th. 25th. And this will open up a few additional hours while we have classes and kind of consolidation at the pools, a little bit of congestion, so that'll help get some of the people that just like to get some water therapy and floating. It's not appropriate for lap swimming or heavy exercise, but it'll be an additional space for some of our people to go. And as a reminder, the Clubhouse 1 construction area is closed to the residents. I know there's a lot of curiosity right now, but we need people to stay out of that area. Security will be called. Unfortunately, it is trespassing, so it's just for the safety of the residents. Thank you very much.
Okay. And that includes directors. Okay. Now, let's get to the next one, which is the motion, and would you read the resolution
Right.
for us, please, Joan?
Resolution 90-24-XX, Community Fitness Center television schedule. Whereas the Community Fitness Center located at the Community Center moved from the third floor to the first floor in 2016, the televisions were added for the enjoyment of those using the fitness center. And whereas many resident complaints have ensued throughout the years, but complaints increased significantly during election seasons, resulting in arguments between residents and staff being accused of election conspiracies if televisions do not display the news channel of the viewer's choice. And whereas on March 14th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended changes to the Community Fitness Center television programming. And whereas the variety of channels was selected as non-competitive and non-controversial, and staff will adhere to these channel selections with the option for discretionary change. And whereas the schedule will be posted near the television and is subject to change based on channel availability, closed captioning availability, or change in programming. And whereas to be consistent with the recent Golden Rain Foundation resolution for television programming at the Clubhouse 1 Drop-In Lounge, staff proposes the following viewing schedule for the Community Fitness Center television. Television 1, this is from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. No, 8 p.m. All right. Television 1 will be showing National Geographic. Television 2 will be showing CBS Sports Network. Television 3 will be showing Destination America. Television 4 will be showing the History Channel. Television 5 will be showing the Travel Channel. And Television 6 will be showing ESPN. Now, therefore, be it resolved, May 7th, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the aforementioned Community Fitness Center television programming, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. I move that we approve this resolution for the Community Fitness Television Center. Television schedule. I'm fine.
Do I have a second? Yvonne?
Okay.
Okay, any discussion or comments on it? Yes, Egon.
I think this is much ado about nothing. I regularly, go to the gym, and there's very few places within each range of each television that you can even see the picture while you're actually exercising or doing whatever it is you're doing. There's no sound, of course, and then for most locations, it's impossible to read. In some locations, you have to crane up like this with your neck, and it's a neck injury in the making. We sincerely hope we don't spend money on the refurbished Clubhouse 1 gym, recreation center, that we spend further money to continue this nonsense with watching televisions that are not watchable in sense when we finish that project. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, are we going to vote on screen? Otherwise, we'll go, are there any objections? I guess we're going to get a screen. I don't have one. I don't see it on other people's screens either. Okay, very good, thank you. Does everybody else have a screen to vote? Yeah. Okay, I voted. All right.
Gan, can you submit your vote? Jim, I see that you're on Zoom. I don't know if you want to submit your vote.
My vote is yes.
Okay, thank you. And then, Reza, what's your vote? Okay, motion was passed.
Okay, I have 8 in favor and 1 abstain. So the motion passes. All right, our second item under unfinished business is to entertain a motion to approve the GRF fee structure for new and non-returned ID cards. This did have an April induction, and so it's up for vote today. Yes, because it was on 28 days, there are some revisions. So would you read the resolution for us, please?
Resolution 90-24-XX, GRF ID card fees. Whereas the Golden Rain Foundation requires that all approved residents residing in the village carry an ID card with them at all times. And whereas the Community Services Division issues ID cards when a resident is approved to reside in the unit. And whereas all owner members, non-owner occupants, and tenants are required to return their ID cards at the time residency is terminated, and failure to do so may result in unauthorized entry into the community or use of GRF facilities. And whereas all GRF ID cards should be identified in one resolution and placed on the website to provide transparency and improve communications. Now therefore be it resolved, June 4th, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby establishes the following fee schedule relating to the GRF ID cards. A new card for a non-owner occupant is $25. New cards for new resident owner members, no charge. New cards for lessees, sub-lessees, renters, and lodgers, it's included in the application processing fee. ID card renewals, that's lessees and mutual 50 only, no charge. Non-return or failure to surrender ID cards for all resale, non-escrow transfer, leasing, rental, and occupancy, including caregivers, transactions, it's $125, non-refundable. Replacement card for lost, destroyed, or stolen cards, $60, non-refundable. Replacement card for worn and unreadable cards, no charge. Replacement card for stolen ID cards with the presence of a police theft report, no charge. Resolved further, Resolution G94-100, adopted November 1st, 1994, Resolution G95-18, adopted March 7th, 1995. Resolution G96-103, adopted December 3rd, 1996, and Resolution 90-1835, adopted August 7th, 2018, are hereby superseded and canceled. And resolved further that the fee schedule shall be placed on the website. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move that we approve this for discussion purpose only because of the changes and postpone it till next time for a final vote.
Do I have a second?
Donna seconds.
Donna, thank you. All right, discussion?
Any
I
objections?
don't see any.
Any objections?
Any objections to moving this to the June agenda for final vote? Seeing none, it's moved without objection. All right, now we get to new business. And our first one is to entertain a motion to approve a donation of $1,000 for the installation of a new 30-amp two-pole speaker breaker at Clubhouse 4 Woodshop. Would you read that resolution for us, please, Joan?
Resolution 90-24-XX, donation of $1,000 for the installation of a new 30-amp two-pole breaker at Clubhouse 4 Woodshop. Whereas a resident proposed to donate $1,000, it should be, okay, for the installation of a new 30-amp two-pole breaker, which would also require installation of pipe and wire from an existing panel to be in a new drop location. And whereas the proposed Woodcrafter drum sander is run by a 5-horsepower motor, however, a 30-amp motor is necessary to start the machine. And whereas the new sander requires additional power, creating less strain on the motor, which leads to longer life of the machine, and whereas funds are available in the 2024 recreation operating budget to support the balance of $350 for electrical installation and for the replacement sander. And whereas on April 11th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the donation of $1,000 for installation of a new 30-amp two-pole breaker in the Clubhouse 4 Woodshop in accordance with the Golden Rain Foundation donation policy. Now therefore be it resolved, May 7th, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the proposed relocation of billiards to the Clubhouse 1 art room and recommend, what?
No.
I'm sorry, that's, okay.
How did that get in
Out
there?
of place.
That's, okay, they're recommending,
That's coming up in
I'm sorry.
the next one.
Okay, I know, just a minute, just a second. Hang on. I'll get the right wording.
Oops.
Oh, dear. Okay, we recommend, okay. We recommend that we accept the donation of $1,000 for installation of a new 30-amp two-pole breaker in Clubhouse 4 Woodshop in accordance with the Golden Rain Foundation donation policy. That's the way it should read. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution. We simply have to put in the correct wording, okay, from that. All right. I move that we approve this resolution with the corrections.
With corrections.
With the amendment.
All right, well, Yvonne has already seconded it. Thank you.
Yvonne seconded.
All right. Is there anybody in discussion that wants to talk about this?
No.
Seeing no discussion, did you?
Did you want me to say something?
No,
Okay.
I just said, is there any? If you don't have anything to say, then it's done. Okay, we need to vote.
Yeah. Martin has something. Martin?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to be sure it's being amended to remove the billiard.
Yes. they
Comment,
said-
right?
we
No,
said-
I just said the correct wording. That is removed.
That
That's
paragraph's
wrong.
removed?
Yeah, that wording is wrong. I said the correct wording.
Okay, thank you.
They will correct it. Thank you.
All right, are there any objections to this motion? Let's do it the easy way.
That's right.
Seeing no objections, this is passed without objection. And it will go on our,
No, it's
no,
done.
it's done. We are there, so. Okay, the next one is to entertain a motion to approve the revised Community Activities Committee Charter. Would you read that for us, please, John?
Okay, I'm just going to read through the charter for you. Resolution 90-24-XX, revised Community Activities Committee Charter. Whereas a Community Activities Committee has been established pursuant to Article 7, Section 7.1.1 and 7.1.3 of the bylaws of this corporation, and whereas on April 11th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the revised Community Activities Charter, and now therefore be it resolved May 7th, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the revised Community Activities Committee Charter as follows. 1. Perform the duties imposed upon all standing committees as set forth in the current resolution entitled General Duties of Standing Committees. 2. Develop and review programs and procedures utilizing advice and assistance from the Recreation Department and make appropriate recommendations to the GRF Board for approval. 3. Review the capital requirements, service levels, and projected revenue related to Recreation Department operations and recommend appropriate action to the GRF Board for approval. 4. Review and evaluate all unbudgeted requests for programs, equipment, etc., and recommend appropriate action to Finance and the GRF Board, respectively, for approval. 5. Review and evaluate existing rules and policies and recommend changes of the Recreation Department as appropriate to the GRF Board for approval. 6. Evaluate and respond to suggestions and/or complaints regarding the use, modifications, or expansion of facilities designed to meet the recreational and social needs of the community. If said modification or expansion requires additional facilities, major reconstruction, or potential relocation, all recommendations shall be forwarded to the appropriate committee for consideration and prioritization. 7. Consider recommendations and encourage the participation of residents in the diverse recreational, social, educational, and cultural activities and programs provided and/or sponsored by this corporation. 8. Establish ad hoc and/or subcommittees and/or study groups of CAC as needed and consider their requests and recommendations subject to specific approval of the board or mutual boards if a joint committee. 9. Review on a regular basis the community facilities utilization reports and summarize same as requested by the board. 10. Review, analyze, and develop information and proposals regarding the need for new fees for use of the community facilities by residents, guests, and outside organizations. 11. Evaluate and recommend policies and/or procedures to ensure safe, clean, and attractive recreation facilities and recommend changes as appropriate to the GRF Board for approval. Resolved further, the Resolution 90-20-9, approved on February 4th, 2020, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. I move that we approve this resolution.
Okay, do I have a second?
Charter.
Rhina, thank you.
Right, a second.
All right. It's important that we go over these charters every year or every 2 years because this is what our committees do, and this is where all of the action of anything that happens, it's brought to our board for a final decision, But all of the work is done at the committees, and this tells you, particularly for all of our amenities and clubs, this is the charter for the Community Activities Committee that oversees that. So appreciate all the work that went into updating this and getting it correct. It's
Any
been
objections?
moved and seconded. Do I have any objections to the charter for the CAC committee? Seeing none, it is accepted without objection. Okay. And next, we get to the one that everybody's come from, it looks like. And that is entertain a motion to approve the billiards relocation to Clubhouse 1 Art Room. And would you read that resolution for us, please?
Resolution 90-24-XX. Billiards relocation to Clubhouse 1 Art Room. Whereas billiards has been offered at various clubhouses throughout Laguna Woods Village, including clubhouses 1, 5, 6, and the Performing Arts Center, and is now consolidated to 2 locations, Clubhouse 1 and the Performing Arts Center. And whereas during the Clubhouse 1 renovation ad hoc committee, during the Clubhouse 1 renovation ad hoc committee planning process, it was determined that the billiards room would be repurposed into a multi-purpose room, and no plan for relocating the billiards tables, which was approved by the Golden Rain Foundation Board as part of the approval of the Clubhouse 1 renovation project. And whereas consolidating billiards into one larger room would allow for the following benefits and efficiencies. First, an additional rental space at the Performing Arts Center will increase revenue. Secondly, increased operating hours. Clubhouse 1 is open every day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. by resolution of the GRF Board, whereas the Performing Arts Center is only open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Third, Clubhouse 1 is the busiest clubhouse with drop-in and reservable space. By not adding an additional reservable space, additional staffing is not needed. The demand for the 5 current reservable rooms is already too demanding for one staff member due to constant room setup changeovers. Whereas on April 11, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the proposed relocation of billiards to the Clubhouse 1 Art Room and recommended the unbudgeted operating expenses associated with relocating the activity. And now therefore be it resolved May 7, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the proposed relocation of billiards to the Clubhouse 1 Art Room and recommends the unbudgeted operating expenses associated with relocating the activity, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. I move that we approve the billiards relocation to Clubhouse 1 Art Room.
Second.
Who seconded?
Kush?
Kush, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, any discussion?
Yes.
Martin?
So we're looking at reducing billiards by, space by 33%. Is that what, we're going from 12 tables to 8 tables, is that correct? And no one sees a problem with that?
No.
We discussed it with the billiards people.
Okay,
We had meetings with the billiards people, and
okay,
this was their plan.
okay. I
How
just
they
wanted to
wanted their
make sure.
tables laid out, okay?
All right, thank you.
And what we're getting is we're getting 2 new reservable spaces, so that's really the gist of the whole thing. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion from the board?
We're-
Egon?
You know, this was a bit of a surprise because in the layout for the renovation of Clubhouse 1, we specifically made some changes that were supposed to enhance the art experience. You know, we were talking about the sinks and the things that had to be done, and then all of a sudden it turns into a billiards room. Has the people that normally reserve classes or had classes there, have they been apprised of this situation? Okay. I have no objection to the billiards room moving over there if that's what they want to do. And then I assume we would get Clubhouse 3 would then become a...
Rental space.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yes, most of the classes over in the art room currently are emeritus classes. We also have rentals. So not, yes, they use the space, but not necessarily for the art effect, I guess you could say. So all of the rentals that were scheduled after September, we do have other locations to move them to if this is approved. And emeritus classes, we would put them in the new multi-purpose rooms, I guess you could say, in the facilities.
Yeah, this Clubhouse 1 is our oldest clubhouse, and the term art room is something that has carried on from a long time ago, not so much that it was designated now for art. It's used for many other things. So it's just a non-declomer, if you will. Did you have a, Martin? Okay. Anybody else have discussion on the board? All right, I'm sure we have discussion from our residents. Would you call them out, please, Michaela?
Yes, we only have one. It's Leon Hallert.
Good morning. Leon Hallett, president of the Billiards Club. This is, I have to say that this is probably the most important meeting that I've attended in many years. I've been retired 20 years, but being a project manager for 45 years, I'm more nervous at this meeting than I was at a $1 million job, you know. So this is very important, not only to the Billiards Club, but to the residents of Laguna Woods Village. They come in here every morning. That now we're open over at the production building, and it's amazing how many people really come and play. I don't think you see a lot of the people on the list because we have to educate them to walk in and sign in, and they so many times do not. This has been a home that we've been looking for. I've been here 11 years. I was a Sunbird for 5 years before that. We have been looking for a home for the Billiards Club for many, many years. And we are down to, as you saw on the original paperwork that I drew up for you, down to 7, 8 tables, where before, as Mr. Martin mentioned, we had 12. Actually, we had 16. And in the sheet that the secretary read, billiards at 5 and 6 have been gone for years. So we really only had Clubhouse 1 and 3. They did a beautiful job on 3. And I expect that the new home will be just perfect for us, really, right now. We bring in, it's going to be a showcase for other communities. We bring in outside, we plan on bringing in more outside communities to play in tournaments with us. Right now, we go to Seal Beach. Seal Beach comes to us. Last year, we served a luncheon, which they do for us. We have now contacted Irvine Center Senior Club. They want to come and see and play us also. So it's a growing thing, and to have a permanent home where we can serve coffee in there. We're going to be a little luncheon space there. There's going to be some tables on the side. It's absolutely perfect. And I can thank the people, I think the billiards people are here now, if you raise your hand. I guess we have a little bit of a majority here right now. I'm only a spokesman for them, and everybody here that you see in the background works at this. I can thank so many people here and we take care of the room. We clean the tables, we clean the balls. Keith is in charge of, without him being in charge of one, he took care of 1 and 3, and still does. So we're looking forward to an approval. It's been a lot of hard work from everybody. I can mention names, but I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. But
Leon, your time is up.
okay, then that's it. Thank you very much, and I appreciate all the work that everybody has done here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, you're speaking in favor of this?
We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Michaela, any other speakers? And nobody online? Oh,
Sorry, I don't have a speaker card, but Ellen Leonard. I'm on the CIC committee, and we approve this. But now as he talks, it makes me wonder, Seal Beach is going to be here, Irvine's going to be here. Am I going to be able to bring my grandson and come and play? Will there be a table? Will all the tables be taken? Will there be something left for the residents?
Absolutely.
those are tournaments that are one-offs, they're not
Yeah.
continual.
I get it.
So you know, we never turn down the residents when we're having a tournament. Our tournaments are on Saturday afternoon for about 3 hours. So we never turn down a resident that walks in and wants to play. If
Thank
we're
you.
on
Off-topic,
Thank
point
you.
of order,
Right.
off-topic,
Yeah.
let's just go on.
Okay. Allison?
I will also add that the Recreation Department is currently working on a tournament policy so that we do have parameters that we can keep all of our users and groups in check to make sure that they're not monopolizing the facilities, not just with billiards, but with lawn bowling, tennis. We have all kinds of tournaments. They are one-off events, so we want to make sure that they are available for residents to bring their guests with them.
Absolutely. We have such beautiful facilities everybody wants to come and use. So that's great. Any other discussion?
One
Do I
more
have any
thing.
objections to this? to
One more
moving it
thing I
forward?
want to mention, that all of the activities that we have here in the community are for all of the residents. We have clubs, but all of the activities are for the residents. Thank you.
You don't have to belong to the club to use them, right? Okay, I'm asking again, is there any objections? Okay, this will go without objection. All right. And our next one is D, to entertain a motion to approve dog licensing and vaccination day. Joan, would you read that for us?
Resolution 90-24-XX. Could you, okay, I'm going to wait till everybody wants to leave, leaves.
Oh, okay. Bye, billiard people.
Thank you very much. Bye, thank you. Okay. All right. Resolution 90-24-XX, dog licensing and vaccination day.
All right, let's get, there we go. That door closed.
Whereas the dog club was established on July 21st, 1969, which encourages owners of dogs to be better members of the community and promotes interest in the proper care of dogs in the community. And whereas the club hosts an annual dog licensing and vaccination day and serves 125 to 350 dogs each year. Licenses are valid for 1 to 3 years. Felines are welcome for needed vaccinations. And whereas the event is coordinated with the City of Laguna Beach's Animal Services Division, under contract with the City of Laguna Woods and the Vet Care Pet Clinic to assist with the required ordinances. 1, all dogs are required by state ordinance to have a current rabies vaccine, and 2, all dogs residing in the City of Laguna Woods are required by city ordinance to have a current dog license. And whereas in prior years, the Recreation Department co-hosted the event to allow services to residents within the community, as it is a valuable service. And whereas on April 11th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended exception to the Golden Rain Foundation recreation policy to allow for commercial use of GRF facilities by the Dog Club for annual dog licensing and vaccination day event for 2025. Now therefore be it resolved, May 7th, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the exception of the Golden Rain Foundation recreation policy to allow for commercial use of the GRF facilities by the Dog Club for annual dog licensing and vaccination day event for 2025. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. I move that we approve the dog licensing and vaccination day as stated in the resolution.
Second.
Martin
All right,
seconded.
Martin seconds. Is there any discussion from the board? Okay, any objections from?
No, wait, Michaela.
Oh, we have a, sorry, thank you.
Sorry, someone sent a letter in for me to read. It's from Bridget Tucker, and they said, "May I add my voice to the chorus of those members of the community who have utilized the services of the dog club to protect their animals and comply with the law. Like our entire population, our community has survived the once-in-a-century pandemic of COVID. We all faced huge adjustments in our lives, from the unexpected rise in the cost of products and services, or the disappearance of services, to the indignities of isolation and the grief of loss. We have all been changed. For many, one vital aspect of our resilience is the affection and companionship of our pets. The vaccination program is a great benefit to our pet-loving members. It may be one of the many amenities that welcome us to Laguna Woods Village, more than a few of which serve only a portion of our members. The support of the village as a community has certainly been a factor in our thriving. This service adds to that welcome spirit. Please do not take this away, or take this one small benefit of our health and comfort away." Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask again, are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, it is accepted without objection. Okay, we're doing really well on time today, so I'm not going to ask for a 5-minute break. Oh, okay, all right. Any other board members for their, we will take a 5-minute break and we will reconvene at 10:50, 55.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Thing on. Yep, there we go. All right, let's wait for our slide. Bingo. All right, this first slide includes all revenues and expenses, including those designated for reserves, including investment income, the transfer facility fees, and the... Yes, it is. It's even echoing. Okay. I think I'm a... First chart includes all revenues, expenses, including those designated for reserves, including investment income, the transfer facility fees, and the GRF portion of the homeowners' fees. Through the reporting period of March 31, 2024, GRF had a net revenue of $1.7 million with a total revenue of $13.1 million, total expense of $11.4. GRF was better than budget by $524,000, with total expenses coming in lower than budget by $681,000, primarily due to less cable programming costs and materials and supplies than anticipated. This was partially offset by revenue coming in lower than budget by $157,000, primarily due to the lower trust facility fees as a result of lower resales than anticipated year to date. Slide 2, please. All right, this chart displays the operating fund activities, which it excludes the non-operating expenses, not non-operating revenues, expenses, and depreciation. This report shows a favorable variance by $570,000 through the reporting period, with expenses better than budget by $680,000, offset by non-assessment revenue worse than budget by $110,000. Slide 3, please. This slide shows our most significant operating fund variances by category, with green bars representing favorable variances to budget and orange bars representing unfavorable items. Favorable items. Overall, we had favorable variances in cable programming and franchise fees of $233,000 due to the TV programming contract renegotiation that assumes a lower number of billable households and will result in savings for the remainder of the year. Materials and supplies, $220,000, primarily due to materials such as computers, sound amplifiers, and pool supplies not yet needing replacement at the clubhouses. In addition, an over-accrual of materials in 2023 for maintenance and construction, general services, and mailroom supplies contributed to this variance. And we have an employee and compensation and related expenditures of $183,000 due to various vacancies in the landscape services for unfilled gardener positions with a slight offset in outside services, and in general services for janitorial positions and open production coordinator position in the TV studio. And the clubhouse rentals and event fees revenue of $146,000 due primarily to more event fee and room rental revenue at the Performing Arts Center for events such as King of Queens, Jimmy Buffett, and ABBA Fab tribute bands. Unfavorable. Some of the unfavorable variances included unfavorable variance of $191,000 resulting in broadband services resulting in broadband services revenue due primarily due to clients continuing to allocate less dollars to cable TV advertising and instead towards other digital platforms. In addition, a sponsorship generating program in media and communications that was anticipated to be launched in 2024, but has yet to have occurred. Next slide, please. The slide shows our sources of revenue other than the assessments, such as fees and rentals. To date, we have received $2.7 million in non-assessment operating revenue, as shown on this pie chart. By category, we can see that our largest revenue is broadband services, i.e. internet, set-top boxes, ad insertion, and premium channels, followed by golf revenue, clubhouse rental fees and events, merchandise sales. Other revenue, which includes class fees, additional occupant fees, sponsorship income, equestrian center fees, and RV storage fees, among others, amount to 15%. These revenues offset costs and help keep assessments down. Next slide, please. This chart shows, as usual, our largest operating expense is compensation, followed by cable and programming expenses. Of the $10.1 million excluding depreciation, these two categories account for 73% of the total operating expense. Insurance, professional and legal, utilities and fuel, outside service, et cetera, make up the remaining 27%. Next slide, please. The reserve and restricted fund adjusted balances are shown here. Starting with the first column on the left, reserve funds have a combined ending balance of $43.7 million. Restricted fund balances have an ending balance of $4 million. Included in this total are contributions received this year through assessments, trust facility fees, and investment earnings. The second column shows the work in progress of $9.9 million for reserve and $43,000 for restricted, reflecting the total amounts paid for projects not yet completed. And then the third column represents the resulting adjusted fund balances of $33.8 million for reserve and $3.9 million for restricted. Next slide, please. We have a slide here to show the resale history from 2022 to 2024. Community-wide sales totaled 173 through March 31, 2024. Most of these transactions generate trust facilities fees, the transfer fee, and are used as a source of revenue for our reserves. Slide 8, please. The listing on this slide gives you an idea of where the reserve money is committed. Of the $28.2 million appropriated by the board for various projects and equipment services, the remaining encumbrances against our reserve funds is $21.8 million, primarily for renovation projects. Restricted funds had a total appropriations of $48,000, and all remaining for the West Creek fuel modification. Excuse me. And then number 9, we compare our adjusted fund balances to historical balances for the past 5 years on this chart, showing that GRF has averaged $29.7 million in revenue and reserve funds and $2.9 million in contingency funds. And I think that's it.
Okay, how about your Finance Committee report?
Finance Committee. All right. I think this is the report. We met on April 19th. We were, I believe, primarily we were dealing with the audit. We got a department head update from Steve Hormuth, the Director of Financial Services, talked about the completion of the audit, resulting in a favorable opinion. The board accepted the audit report into corporate records on April 4. Members have been encouraged to view the complete audit report on the Laguna Woods Village website as they wait to receive a condensed summary of the audited financials. We had preliminary financial statements, endorsements from the standing committee. One of the things that there have been slight revisions in the final, not in the audit report, but in the final records that are going to be presented at our next Finance Committee meeting. I mean, there's nothing dramatic. It's just there's some changes that were made to correct some inadvertent errors. And so that's going to be before the next Finance Committee meeting, and will come up to the GRF board as a consent calendar item, the meeting following that.
Thank you. How about a report from...
Quick question, Ms. Gilman?
Yes.
We have a resident who would like to speak. It's Ellen Leonard, if that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I had a question about the West Creek fuel modification. I don't know. That's the first time I've ever heard.
All right. The West Creek fuel modification is there is a section of property I forget how many square feet it is, but it is an area that used to be thought to be controlled by the county and actually is controlled by us. And so it was overgrown and needed maintenance, and so we awarded a contract to clear that out, and then we have ongoing maintenance responsibilities for it. So that's what that is. It's just a...
Why does it say fuel? Is it fuel?
Burnable stuff.
Oh.
Fire risk.
Ellen, I encourage you to come to the landscape committee meeting because there's going to be a visual presentation on that.
Okay, all right. I had one other question. Where are the funds that come in from renting to Age Well, and do we rent to Lettner? Do we rent parking? Do we rent our lot to Lettner Roofing? Do we rent any section to Great Scott Tree?
I will have to follow up with staff on those specific questions.
Okay.
So it's, do we rent parking facilities?
It's just parking.
Okay, go ahead, tell us the
Okay.
answer.
Lettner, we give them that space across from Garden Center 2, and they give us a discount, so to speak, on the work that they do here. Age Well uses our parking lot. They sign a contract every year, and they pay us for the rental of that. And they buy fuel from us, and they had to pay for that too at a premium.
Great Scott?
Pardon?
Great Scott Tree Trimming? They're parked over there.
I don't know where they're at. I don't know them.
Oh, okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
that one. But the only people that I know that I want to say give a deal, they give us a discount and we give them a place to park their equipment, is Lettner.
Lettner.
Okay, everybody else pays.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did that answer the question?
It does. Would you like to give your report on CAC now?
Oh, I suppose. Okay. Microphone. Okay. Our last meeting at CAC was April 11th. The following items were approved and sent to the GRF board for consideration and approval. And I'm repeating what just happened. The CAC charter, the billiards room relocation, dog licensing, and the $1,000 donation, all of which was approved by GRF today, and I thank the board for that. At our last meeting, Mr. McCrae gave a positive report on the golf courses and the garden center, and I'd like to say that the Club Expo this past month at Clubhouse 5 was standing room only.
Super successful.
Absolutely. And I want to thank all the clubs that participated and all their hours of volunteering. Also, I'd like to encourage, while I've got the microphone, I'd like to encourage everybody to get involved. Join a club, go to your mutual meeting or a town hall. After all, this is your village. Don't complain. Be part of the change. Anyway, that's in our next meeting, because is going to be June 13th at 1:30 here in the boardroom. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our landscape committee, Director Bada.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is the first time I'm going to report on the landscape committee meeting because I was not present at the last committee meeting. The meeting report was reported at the last board meeting. The meeting took place on February 14th, 2024. The next meeting is tomorrow, actually, May 8th, and I encourage everyone to attend. A lot of interesting things are going to be discussed, and it's here in the boardroom as well as it would be through virtual Zoom or whatever the process is. The meeting is at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom. Thank you, and hope to see all of you over here. Take care.
Thank you, Krish.
No free lunch.
All right, our next report is from the Maintenance and Construction Committee, Director Horton.
Thank you. At our last meeting, there was a presentation of the new restrooms that they're going to put in at the PAC. The committee got an update on Clubhouse 1 and the welding shop and energy. The completed energy report will be presented at a later time. Our next meeting will be June 12th at 9:30 here in the boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a subcommittee, the Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee. President Hopkins, I see you're online. Would you like to give a report on that?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Our last meeting was held on May 1st. It was a good meeting. Both of the options that are on the table were discussed at length. We had an updated presentation. And we moved to take both options to GRF for evaluation, and so that the staff can evaluate.
Thank you very much. Our next one is Media Communications Committee. Chairman Milliman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our second quarterly meeting was held Monday, April 15th, 2024, here in the boardroom. At the meeting, Ms. Rothrock reported on media communications. She called attention to the many jobs that are tracked, the resident subscribers added, documents handled, and the number of news articles posted to the website in the last 3 months. She also highlighted from the Media and Communications Activities Report the various ways the Media and Communications Division communicates with village residents, including but not limited to the Village Breeze, What's Up in the Village Weekly Blast, the weekly press releases sent to the Globe, the digital newsletters from the GRF, Third Mutual, and United Mutual Boards of Directors, and targeted emails for recreation and community services. She also mentioned that, as you have already heard, the new community tour experience is available on video on the website. I urge you all to take the tour visually and enjoy. We also have a new contacts flyer that is going out, which is designed, which highlights how residents can contact VMS and the boards of directors. And we hope that this flyer will appear everywhere. So keep your eyes open for that. Regarding the website update, Ms. Rothrock updated the committee on the discovery phase meetings between contractor and staff. These are weekly meetings that are going on about our website. And they've included such things as discussions on creative strategy, user experience, design, navigation, goals and objectives, brand strategy and positioning, information architecture, unified events calendar, wireframing, resident and staff interviews, and usability testing. She noted that Google Analytics admin access was given to the contractor in order to view the trends on our site pages. The first set of wireframes have been approved, and a robust search function and document storage are being discussed as well as implemented. This next time at our board meeting here next month, our revised charter will be reviewed and hopefully approved by our board.
Today.
So various areas of concerns from that charter have been removed since our function has been changed somewhat. Our next meeting will be Monday, July 15th, 2024, and so I hope everybody will attend, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Our next report is from Director Rosa on the Broadband Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you. We had closed meetings on April 19th as well as April 30th. We have a closed meeting scheduled for tomorrow here in the boardroom, and also with the entire GRF board next week at our closed agenda prep meeting. And we are moving forward, and things like what the CEO reported, our directions are under my considered legal review.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we have the Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Director Rothberg.
Everything is on the written page, and we have not had another meeting, so I don't really have anything to add.
Next meeting will be next week on May 15th.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, now I get to report on Security Community Access Committee. This is a committee that I'm very proud to chair. They have been doing a really good job of a lot of different items. The big one under consideration right now is reviewing the rules and regulations for traffic rules and trying to get a compilation of anything from Third and United so that we have one set of traffic rules. Also updating them so that we take out things like decals and we add things like electric bicycles and other motorized vehicles to it. And I might add that something that we discovered going through all of these rules that was very interesting was back in 2019, December of 2019, the board passed a resolution that took effect January of 2021 saying all motor vehicles needed to have an RFID. Now, during COVID, et cetera, that was not rigidly enforced. I understand from Chuck Holland that about 90% of our vehicles do have RFIDs, but some people have opted not to put an RFID on their car or motor vehicle of any kind. That's golf carts, golf cars, whatever. And it is not optional. Basically, our rules say any motor vehicle has to have an RFID. We also talked about our resident cards and if they were quote-unquote smart cards. Apparently, the last 5 years or so, they have been a different kind of a card with a magnetic strip on the back, being more functional. Those of us that have been around, we dinosaurs that have been here for a long time, our resident cards, our magnetic strip on the back probably does not function. We have to come in and have it updated. So we're working on how we can do that and what our steps in the future are going to be for that. Security statistics are always interesting. It's interesting to see our statistics compared to the statistics that we get from the Sheriff's Department. Our security does the bulk of our investigations and things within the village, but there are times that the Sheriff's Department has to be called in because they are the major office that takes care of things, our security. We did look at that fee structure, which we put today, we polished today, on the returned ID cards. And many different items of discussion that are coming up. At our next meeting, which is coming up on June 26th, we will be having a report that has been promised on the flashing stop signs. There are a couple of other things that have been under kind of a trial basis that we're looking at how functional they are, and so we'll look at that. Next meeting, June 26th at 1:30 p.m. here in the boardroom. And our village traffic hearings are held every month. And they were held April 17th. We had 5 different cases. The next hearings will be May 15th, These are, of course, closed for security purposes. And it's amazing how many violations we have that are given out by security that never come to traffic hearings. That's a voluntary thing. You can come if you wish to discuss it. You can go to security and see the videos that we have, and a lot of times that takes care of it. And they say, oh, I did stop there. They see the video and say, okay, I'll pay the fine. So the bulk of our violations are taken care of that way, and we only see 5-6 people a month usually in our actual traffic hearings. The next traffic hearing is next week, May 15th. And now we have the executive member hearings. Director Horton?
We had a meeting, and it was closed. That's all I can say.
March 26th, yeah.
March 26th.
Okay. Yeah, again, for a confidentiality thing, these ones are closed meetings. And I think the May 28th date for our next meeting, or excuse me, the June 6th meeting for the next meeting is...
Oh, it's been canceled.
It's been canceled, that's what I thought. Okay. There are problems sometimes with getting people to their schedules to match with our schedules. Okay, our next is the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. Again, we meet every other month. It met in March. We had our radio drill, which was fairly well attended. And let's see if there's anything else. The main thing that we talked about is coming up, well, first of all, we had a report on the training that we had in March for our neighborhood captains. At Clubhouse 3, there were about 300 people in attendance. It was very well given and appreciated. Our neighborhood captains sign up, and they're all gung-ho, and we don't have any big disasters, so there's not much for them to do in between times. So we're trying to have different trainings, Red Cross and from outside groups, that will keep them involved and know that they still are needed. The big one that we're looking forward to is going to be in September, and it's in preparation for the Great California Shakeout, which is in October. And this particular disaster preparedness expo, we're going to have vendors there with different things that you can get if you're for your shelter in place for disaster preparedness. We're going to have the mock earthquake. It's a trailer, and you go in, and it's like a 7-point earthquake that you can actually feel and know what that would be like if it came about. And some speakers and things like that. So I encourage everybody to look forward to that. There'll be more information at our meeting on May 28th, which basically is our next meeting, 9:30 here in the boardroom. And how about Information Technology Advisory Committee? What's going on with ITech? President Hopkins?
Yes, I'm unable to speak extensively right now, but we meet every Friday. We meet at the last Friday at 1:30. It's a closed meeting. At the last meeting, we were updated. We're ending phase 1, which is essentially finance, administration, and some of the things that we don't see that are in the background. So once we end those phases, we'll go into some activities that are more visible to the public. But it is going well and as expected. And we hope to finish the entire project by the end of the first quarter of next year.
Okay, thank you very much. We're moving ahead, slowly but surely. All right, our next item is future agenda items. And from our new business, we move forward with the fee structure for new and returned ID cards. I think that's the only one that has to go 28 days and go on our next agenda. Are there any other items that the board would like to put on future agenda items? Seeing none, okay.
Are the ID cards on as a future agenda because of the changes?
Yes.
It's another 28-day?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes.
Yeah, just one other thing related to that.
I don't think that has to be 28 days. No. The charters don't have to be 28 days, we just approve them. Donna?
Yeah, just related to that as part of the future agenda, you briefly referred to the consideration, discussion, whatever, regarding smart cards. And so that is something that I believe is still going to be on a future item.
It'll be a future, I don't know that it'll be ready.
It won't be right away, but
If I
future
may,
does
but
mean
we'll put it on
out
so we
there.
don't, it doesn't get lost, but
Yeah,
believe me,
so we don't want
security
it to get
access
lost.
will not let it get lost. So,
Because that was a discussion that really related to the potential for figuring out how to eliminate cards moving to friends and things.
there's been such a.
Yeah, so smart cards, they'd be killed the minute someone reported it lost, and therefore that would eliminate all of that. So we aren't doing it, we haven't done it.
There's been a real advance in
Yeah, but I do
technology.
want it on the future agenda as
Right.
separate
Okay.
but related.
I will put that on future agenda. All right, let's do director's comments, and we'll start with Rhina. I'm sorry, Rhina, did you have something for future agenda?
I don't remember the day, but it was 10 minutes to 10 in the morning. I was sitting at the dining room table and I felt a jolt, and I wondered if anybody here felt it.
We've had a couple of small four-pointers, 4-point something or others. Some of us just take them for granted and don't bother us, but there has been a couple.
I have a question.
Yes, Cash.
Just a follow-up on what Donna said about the smart card. What committee does that fall under? The discussion for the smart ID card for the residents? Were you referring to the smart ID card for the residents?
Yes.
Okay. So what committee would that fall under?
The Security Community Access Committee is
Security,
picking that up.
okay.
And
Okay.
we'll have something
Just-
that we'll bring forward to the board.
Yeah, I would definitely want to hear a little more about that. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Rhina, did you have some comments for us? No? Okay. Egon? No comment. Yvonne?
One thing. I just recently read an article, and it was by Safewise. And it talked about safest cities. And of the top 6, our name isn't in there, but Aliso Viejo, Laguna Niguel, Mission Viejo, and Lake Forest were listed. So we are surrounded by the safest cities. So I can only assume that we are too. So I just wanted everybody to know
It's a
that.
good point. Our city is so small, and it's 90-some% the village, that sometimes it gets overlooked in those kinds of surveys.
I'm sure. The safest city is Rancho Santa Margarita.
That is, right?
Okay. But there you go. Thank
Okay,
you.
Donna, did you have some comments
No
for us?
further comments, great meeting.
Bill? Martin?
I'm going to take this time
There you go,
to
okay.
emphasize about the gauntlet thrown down. The Laguna Woods Village social softballers are challenging the VMS Security Department and friends, June 2nd, Sheep Hill Park, 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Come out and see the grudge match, okay? Thank you.
Okay. Joan?
I have no
Dan?
comments.
Kush?
Nothing special. I just wanted to say, Raina, since you live so high up in the air, you probably felt the jolt more than all of us did. So, anyway, enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I just want to say how impressed I was at the Club Expo. I know we only do it every other year, and it was kind of on hiatus because of the pandemic, but it was very worthwhile, and it was certainly well-attended. The only problem we had was parking. That's the usual one. Okay, at this time, I will call recess, and we will reconvene upstairs for our closed meeting at 12:30.